What's up with all the people who claim to be spiritually enlightened, yet they don't have the manifestation or they haven't manifested a reality that you desire? Like, what's up with the counterfeit spirituality is what I'm just trying to say. I don't know if you picked up on it, but I have like a long time ago. And it was through falling for it a lot of times, listening to people, giving them my ear, different influencers and stuff like that, different gurus, so to speak, that are supposedly enlightened. And yet, when I look at their lives, I'm like, bro, you're really just you're just yapping. You're yapping because you're not teaching me how to actually like acquire something that'll change my life dramatically. I even feel that way first and foremost about like pastors and stuff like that. They're like the first ones. And then after that, it's just people who kind of know how to use the spiritual lingo and even dress the part a lot of times, whatever that even means. I didn't know there was no damn uniform for spiritual enlightenment. Like I'm wearing something right now, but this is just me as an artist, nigga. I'm gonna do this regardless. This don't have nothing to do with no spirituality. This is just day. This is just day. By the way, if you don't know me, if this is your first time watching me, I'm Day. I'm Day. Welcome. So I have a big problem with the people who do that, who have this audacity to step out and pretend to be some kind of spiritually enlightened individual, some kind of spiritual guide, and offer you bullshit advice that doesn't allow you to manifest your dream life, doesn't allow you to manifest um, better perspective and a better overall spiritual and physical, emotional life, mental life. Like, I feel like anybody who's really up on spiritual game is going to help you cleanse yourself from the inside, and then it's going to manifest right away outside and continue to grow exponentially. Like, a lot of this stuff out here is just it's just spiritual woo woo, bro. It really is. It's just woo woo. They just talking. And the number one determining factor here is that they just don't do the work. They're skipping over the work because they're just like, "Oh, I can read books. I can travel. I can do yoga. I can, you know, go to some damn temple and all that." I'm not saying there's anything wrong with any of those. I would do all of those. I have done almost all of those except for the temple. It it all boils down to who's doing the real work. Like when you even go to these places, when you consume these books, when you do the yoga, like it's not about just the information, it's the application of the information. And what I do is I start applying things right away. Because you know what that allows me to do? It allows me to see if it's the real deal or not. Because a lot of stuff is bullshit out there. A lot of information that's in books is bullshit. A lot of information that people spit out on through content is bullshit. A lot of places you even go, like certain temples. I even read like a lot of the like Shaolin temples in China, like that shit don't even exist anymore, is what I heard. And like a lot of it is just for tourism. It's just for tourism. It's like an excursion. And people don't realize it and think that they're really involved in some kind of community. And it's like, no, like, nigga, these things are secret. They would never bring no white man into the building and have them training to be no real ass fighting monk who meditates and all this stuff. Like, nigga, that doesn't, if that exists, that's hidden from you. That's what I've heard. And I believe it. I believe it. Because it costs and stuff to even do this. Like, it costs to do these things. So a lot of times information out there is counterfeit. And so the way to figure it out is to test it and to hear other people's perspectives on them testing it as well for themselves. So you don't have to waste your time and money a lot of times. Because spiritual enlightenment can be fully obtained behind closed doors with just you and yourself. Because I never had the ability to travel and do a bunch of stuff. But luckily, I live in a digital age where a lot of information is out there. But it's a double edged sword. You got great information, and then you have a lot of horrible information, like I said. So the application of it is how I was able to test it out a lot of times. If it's not manifesting me a different reality, starting with my internal universe and then changing the world around me, it's bullshit. It just is. That's what I've come to find. And so I've taken all the things that I learned, because I'm a modern day bookworm. And a modern day bookworm is not just like having your head in physical books, it's just like your head in information in general. It's really a lot of online stuff. And so I'm that guy that likes to fly through all that stuff because I am a type 5 on the Enneagram, and that is the person who is really passionate about downloading information. But you see a lot of people that are even type 5s download information and don't use it. They don't utilize it. They just hoard. They hoard it. And the people who get the results, like I said, are the ones who just simply wake up and they're like, I'm going to, go on these adventures. I'm going to go on these quests within, get this information, or I just learned some information the other day. I'm going to apply it today. And we're going to see what we get. We're going to see what results we get. And I've come out on the other side with a beautiful life that I've manifested. But it started here. I had heaven within first. I had heaven within first. And it was really the work, like the real shadow work. I talked about the shadow work that I've done a little bit in one of my videos that I just recently did before this one. And like all the good information that I've consumed throughout these years, since I was very young, it put me in a position to where I did have to face the real me and make adjustments. And that's how I knew like it was requiring me to do the real work. It was always difficult. The real work is always difficult. It's just like working out. Like working out is not easy unless you bullshit in your workout. But I don't bullshit my spiritual workout. I just don't. Neither do I with my physical workout, but I definitely don't when it comes to my spiritual exercises, when it comes to my spiritual routine. I'm like, if we're going to do this, we're going to go all the way in. And a lot of these spiritual leaders and guides, nigga, they haven't done it. And so then you see it bleed off in many areas of their life because you see that their ego is not tamed. You see that it's not tamed. And I'm not saying there's not room for mistakes, but it's just like you don't even see beyond the illusion of how you conduct yourself on a day-to-day basis. You still subscribe to capitalism, and you still subscribe to this toxic view of reality, and you shit on people a lot of times and talk down on people, and you have a lot more negative things to say than positive. And it's like it's because your internal world is not that. So all you can manifest from out of your mouth is pretty much like the lingo to make you sound like you're informed to people who are highly uninformed. People like myself early on my journey who didn't understand a lot of stuff. People who were ignorant. And they prey on them, and they build these cults and this following based off of people's ignorance. They just want to be, and that's the number one thing, is like you're building this whole entire image to put on display to people, and you're the source. Even though you're claiming not to be in many ways, you really are and have set up yourself to be the source. And so I hear a lot of people like subscribe to these characters, and I'm like, why is this person like hosting a live panel and they're the only one on stage for the most part, unless it's like some kind of co-host or a main host that's having them on, and they're just kind of addressing the audience, and like they're the one who's informed, and you're supposed to go and ask them questions and get their perspective. I'm like, there ain't nothing wrong with people interviewing you and asking you questions, but it's the way they go about it. For me, I'm trying to learn from my own audience. I'm trying to learn people's perspective. That's why in these comments on here, even if I don't respond in these comments, like it's for a specific reason. What I'm really trying to do when you comment on here is for you to leave your perspective on the video, your thoughts, so that I could read through it, and so that mainly other people can read through it, and we're all learning together. And some of the stuff I will engage with if I feel that is worthy of engaging with. But a lot of times what you learn when you are an influencer of any sort is that you got to keep yourself at distance a lot of times, because certain people have agendas and they want proximity, and you got to protect yourself from that. And you have to set up other environments where people actually can interact with you face to face. The internet is not always the place for that, but it is a place where we can share perspective. So I share my perspective on here. You're 100% able to share your perspective in the comments. And then mainly what I'm encouraging a lot of people to do that watch these videos is to create their own content. And guess what I get to do? I get to click your page, and then I get to go get consumed with your world. And then I get to engage in your world by commenting and being a spectator of your content. So then now I'm in your comments, because I comment on people's stuff. I comment, but I'm not going to address my own comments a lot of times because it's not always appropriate. One, because I'm married. And then two, it's not always in the best interest of both me and the person that is commenting. And so I don't want to put myself in a position to where I am becoming some kind of like person that's even viewed in the light of a God and some ultra spiritual guide. Nigga, I get turned off just by watching those people that address their community like that, and they're viewed as some kind of like ancient sage who, teleported here from a different dimension, and they're just this super mystical being. It's like, yeah, I got things about me that are really unique and cool, and I'm an interesting soul. Yeah, we can say that, but so are you. So are you is my point. So are you. So are you. I might be very advanced in certain areas, but so are you. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person. A lot of these niggas, they got hidden agendas. They got um, sex scandals that end up being exposed because they've been secretly building this fan base of people who are very insecure and weak and traumatized and mentally disturbed. So, these spiritual guys are predators a lot of times. They know exactly what they're doing because for some reason at the end of the day, all they want to do is have an orgy when they build their camp off of the backs of the people who support them. It's insane. It's insanity. I watched one nigga he has his own like facility and like a retreat, and I forgot his name, but he's very well known. And I watched some video with my wife of this nigga on his website page, and he had his little congregation like standing next to him outside at his facility, and one girl was like, he is like Jesus, he is Christ, he is God. And he was just sitting there. He didn't jump in and be like, no, 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 no. He just stood there, and he was like, it's not in his head. And I'm like, this nigga's not even, I didn't even know they get down like that, because this nigga seemed like he don't even talk about religion. He says a lot of things that I actually was agreeing with in some of his content. And then you go and do that, it shows me what you really are, and it shows me what you're really doing to those women behind closed doors. They sucking your dick. They sucking your dick. I know what's going on. I could see it. Freaky ass niggas. Like, claiming to be spiritually enlightened. And they always, like, lead you down this rabbit hole of unanswered questions, when you could really just get the answer, like, very simply and do something different with your life. But it's because they're parasites, and they need you to remain there. So they'll keep you stuck in this loop of following them over and over again, thinking that you're going to become more and more enlightened because they're throwing you little bones here and there. But really, your life it's not changing. That's how your ass know you in a cult. I got a friend in a cult right now. He can't even see it. Some Christian cult in the UK. Nigga, if you see this video, I'm talking to you. He's in a cult. And every time that I tell him, he gets super defensive. And I get it. But it's like, bro, this nigga that you follow is like making money. He's scamming. He's making a whole bunch of money. Niggas flexing his cars, flexing his clothes unapologetically, designer everything all the time. Yet he hasn't laced you with any money. He don't even really know you. He don't even really know you. You know his followers that he placed in place to solicit the cult to you and to keep you within their space. They gave you a little place to live, cool, but you live with like a bunch of other people within those facilities, and it's been that way for years, when the nigga could have just laced you with the ability to figure out how to make money from your gifts so that you could go out there and make the impact that you say he's helping you make. No goddamn impact. So when we talk, it's a one-sided conversation now a lot of days, when this person, my friend, is somebody who is one of the smartest people that I've ever met in life. somebody who I really saw as my equal on many levels when it came to, our um, intellectual capabilities and all that. I'm not saying I'm the smartest nigga out there. I'm really not. I stumble over my words. I say the wrong words a lot of times. My vocabulary is not the greatest, but I know what I'm talking about. You feel me? And he could hang. And when it came to a lot of like spiritual adventures, he was down to go on those spiritual adventures with me. Download a lot of that information. But the difference is the nigga never really utilized it. And so he's really behind now. And I'm older than him, but still at the same time, he's really behind what I even was during that time. And I love this nigga dearly. This is not me talking bad about him. It's just that I see the trap of being led by somebody who is propping themselves up and putting themselves on a pedestal and telling you to follow them. That's when his decline started to happen, is when he started following this motherfucker. And I'm like, bro, the people who are really out here making a difference, you can't even keep up with them a lot of times because they're over here and they're over here and they're over here because their life is dramatically changing from the work that they put in. Niggas can't keep up with me, not because I'm better than, like I said, it's because my life is always changing. So I'm advertising myself through digital content so that people can keep up with my perspective and they can apply it to their lives. And I'm telling people very simple things as a real human being, something that AI cannot replicate, something that fake spiritual people cannot replicate, because I'm putting in the work and I'm just giving it to you and saying, this is the easy way to do it. This is the most efficient way. Quantum leap in your life. Don't be the fly that's hitting the window all the time. And there's a door right next to you that you could go out of instead of exhausting yourself to death trying to get out of this closed window that you'll never be able to open. Go this way. And that's how you manifest this. That's how I got out of the States. I made one simple phone call, got out of the States. Boom, I'm over here. I'm living my life and I'm very, very comfortable living a luxurious life. Nutritious foods, living water, a very nice place with a scenic view, creating my content all the time and not having to report to no goddamn 9 to 5. I'm free. And I made a simple phone call in order for that to happen. But I prepped all beforehand. All these years, I prepped in the micro, making adjustments to my character so that I could be able to receive these kind of things, so that I could take it in and be of value to other people. You feel me? I wouldn't be able to make the goddamn content if I wasn't putting in the work behind closed doors spiritually. I wouldn't be here, bro. I wouldn't be here. So that's what it boils down to. It's the work. It's always the work. Always. And a lot of people, they avoid the work because they think they could get away with the lingo. It's like that episode of SpongeBob, bro. The nigga, he got advertisement on TV promoted to him and he got the fake arms. Remember that episode? He got the fake arms that make you look buff. He put them bitches on. He was walking around flexing on everybody. They was like, oh my God, SpongeBob. And then, this nigga joined a competition for lifting. And everybody, was lifting stupid weight and throwing it, like super heavy stuff, throwing it across the field. And it came time for this nigga SpongeBob to pick up the lightest stuff, like 2 teddy bears or something like that, on the end of a damn barbell. And the nigga couldn't even lift that. And when he was trying and he exerted himself all the way, like his arms, they blew up and he got exposed. It's the same thing with these spiritual guides. It's like you put them through the test, you put them through real life. You actually put them in situations where they're, in rooms with people like myself who are just day-to-day people who have done the work. You put them in rooms with us and they can't hang with our perspective. And they'll implode right there because they've never, ever really sat down to just do the work. They've consumed a lot of the information. They know how to recite a bunch of verses from their passages or from their books that they've read and all kind of stuff. They know all these different names of all these different great spiritual leaders from the past and all this stuff. They know a bunch of historical information. But nigga, they cannot replicate what those that do the work do. What those that do the work say. They can't have this perspective because it takes so much work to get here. It's internal work. You ain't got to physically get up to do a whole bunch. It's really internal. The only physical thing you really got to go do on a consistent basis is go look at your reflection. Go get up and look in the mirror and question your reality. Question who you are. Question your perspective that you currently have so you could become enlightened and have your perspective illuminated and stretched. so that you could make room for other things, And these niggas, they don't do it. They don't do it, so they never come back with any real nuggets. Since they don't do that in their own life and don't come back with nuggets for themselves, they definitely, sure as hell, don't have nothing for you. You feel me? Because they're fake. They're counterfeit. It's counterfeit spirituality. I see it all the time. Even in day-to-day people, when they be like on my panels and shit on TikTok Live, or I be in other, groups and stuff like that. I'm like, first of all, you talk too damn much. And with what you're saying, it's all empty. It's all empty. Like, you could just real recognize real. You know what I mean? And real also recognize fake. That's something that niggas don't say. Real recognize fake. I'm always noticing what's fake around me because I've done the goddamn work. You can't fool me. And if you do fool me, you don't fool me for long at all. I see right through it. Even if I'm still kind in my approach and because I'm very respectful. Even if I still shake your hand and all that, I know you be on bullshit. I'm just cool with shaking your hand a lot of times because it don't got nothing to do with me. And I haven't found anything out that's super shady about you yet to the point where it would make me, feel like I gotta disrespect you. So it's like, it's the reason. It's my life. I'm cool. If you subscribe to bullshit and you're not really about the business, like, that's on you. It don't mean I gotta disrespect you. You feel me? But there's a lot of people I just do flat out fully disrespect because they're leading people down some stupid ass rabbit holes just to feed their pockets and to bust their nut. And that goes for males and females. All these cults out here, all these people that's thinking they leaders and influencers and stuff like that. It's like, nah, nigga, you're not that. You're not him. You're not her. You're a fraud. And so I never want to be put in that in that same category. I never want to be in that same box. So I don't approach myself, speaking all differently and things like that, and trying to prop myself above people and always be the teacher. Like, I'm not. I don't even like school. I ain't nobody's teacher. I'm just a guy that's sharing perspective. And you could analyze me along my journey, and I'm going to be the same person throughout the entire journey foundationally. And you're going to see the changes that I've made are changes towards the clouds. Like, I'm elevating, I'm ascending. And I'm not trying to leave nobody behind because perspective is free. So I'm giving game. And if you could keep up because you're willing to do the work, then we're here together. And I'm looking to meet other people who are further along on their journey than I am so I could learn from them and get even higher so I could climb higher towards, where I want to be. You know what I mean? I want to be the greatest I could possibly be. What does that mean? What does that look like? I don't know. So I'm just going and going and going nonstop until I die in this lifetime. I'm looking to have major quantum leaps occur in my spiritual life so that I could have major quantum leaps occur in my physical life. It's just a byproduct of putting in the work. Damn it. It just is. So I don't give my ear to nobody who's not taking me down that path. When I was on the religious path, trying to figure out if there was real power in Christianity, because that's the reason why I signed up. I thought there was real power to be a greater version of yourself and to manifest a better reality. The golden rule and following that is the only thing that I got, and that wasn't even preached. And nobody cares about that in Christianity. And I was seeing the whole time, like, y'all are so mediocre in everything that you do. Not even mediocre. Y'all niggas are trash at what you do a lot of times. Just trash. Just flat out trash. From the arts, which is what I love, to your spiritual life, to your marriages, to your life and relationship with your kids, your community, your contribution. Like, it's just trash across the board. It's just trash. Like, y'all are losers. Y'all are actual losers. And a lot of these spiritual groups led by these spiritual influencers are losers, bro. They're all losers. They're all losers. They don't win at life spiritually and physically. I want to win, bro. I'm here to win. I'm here to win. How else are you going to change the world? You have to win and show people that you're a winner. When you win, you help other people win because you give them all the tools, all the information that they need that they can apply to their life to learn and to win. And when they win, they can help you win even more as well. It's a community. These people don't want community a lot of times because there is no pouring into one another. It's just one person pouring their nut into a whole congregation of people to make little offsprings of themselves. just so they could just jack off to their own reflection. It's like, it's weird. I don't get off to that, bro. I don't get off to that. I'm not that guy. That sounds so stupid to me. Take your horny ass and go be a porn star. You know, there's real rooms for that. There's real environments where people like really champion the freak. Go be a freak. Go be a freak, nigga. Go be a freak. I don't. I ain't never gonna understand the narcissist completely. I'm really not. I'm never gonna understand these psychos. But they out here. They out here. And I spot them from a mile away. And I'm like, stay the fuck away from me. And don't ever, ever put me in that same box if you're a consumer of my stuff. Don't ever. I'm not that person. You feel me? I'm something completely different from that. I'm here to really contribute and to receive contribution from those that put in the work as well, like I said. So yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. Not a long video at all. Stay away from these predators. Spiritual enlightenment is very easy to obtain if you're willing to sit down and observe yourself and make adjustments to your character. That's really the only two things. Be an observer. Once you observe and you come back with some information, some perspective from sitting down alone and really thinking, really paying attention, just apply it. Just try it out. Be willing to commit to trying it out. Be willing to commit to whatever work is ahead of you that it tells you to put in. And it should not require you to go on some grand quest across the world and spend a bunch of money and hours and all that. Nigga, no. It's something that you should be able to do within your own home, from the comfort of your own home or your own life that you already live, your daily routine. Like, just do it there, and then life will start to gradually transform and you'll start to experience these grand quantum leaps. And next thing you know, your life is different and you've manifested your heaven. You feel me? You've manifested everything that you want. And now it's just time to go and get more so you could be of greater value to people. Shit is simple. Don't let nobody tell you that you need any more. No external force, no subscription of any sort. It ain't none of that. When they tell you that you got to put your trust and your all into something else outside of yourself, they're lying. They're lying. They're lying. That's what I come to find. So yeah, take that. Do something with it. I love you. Peace.